Yo, what's good? I'd like to introduce my homie Soké, also known as Zachary. Amazing artist, producer, incredible human being. He's multi-platinum producer. He's produced for household names such as Duality, Sean Paul, T.Y. Dollar Signs,
David
Guetta, and then there's probably
Sia.
Sia as well. Sia's a big name. So by now, countless superstars. And pretty much it started in a small city, right? Because you come from Gatineau, small city.
Yeah, I mean, we both come from the same area,
Yes.
81907, Outaouais.
Yes, that's
I'm
true.
from Hull. You're from Gatineau.
Yes.
And I would like to introduce my boy Mindflip, aka Simon Belin.
What's up? What's up?
Rapper extraordinaire,
Thanks.
entrepreneur,
Thank you.
amazing performer, producer as well.
I kind of am a producer since I direct
You
the.
are. You're not kinda. You are a producer.
Yeah, because a lot of times we think producers are the one who makes the beat, but beat makers are sometimes also producer. But producing is like bringing a creative and artistic vision to the session. Is what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you produce and you make the beat, but it's two different crafts.
Yes, exactly.
In my opinion, I mean, it's like more like the chef in the kitchen, controlling all the operations and making sure that the idea of the song comes into fruition at the highest quality possible from A to Z.
Yeah, that makes sense.
From the lyric idea in your mind to the mastering and then the video and then marketing and maybe not marketing, maybe, I don't know.
So to you, that's really what makes a producer, is to really like follow the whole chain of creating the song from starting up to the mastering. So
Exactly.
if you're like directing this whole thing, this art, participating to this artistic vision, it's production basically.
Yeah, I think you should be able to do anything that involves creation of music.
I'm a producer then.
There you go.
Let's go. I'm a producer now. Used to be a beat maker as well, but now I don't really make my beats anymore. Love working with people like you. You know, I just think it makes a difference. Like we get in here and it's just like, because the workflow's crazy.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I thought was amazing about working with you, is that you never like hesitate for a second. There's always something going. Like if I'd be able to write 10 songs in a day, we would make 10 songs in a day, literally.
We should try.
We should try.
1 hour per song.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, I just developed a super high speed workflow to just keep the vibes going as high as possible and not stop until we have something great. And then when we're like, okay, this is going somewhere super great, where everybody in the room is feeling it. So okay, now I can eat.
Yeah, that's true, and I feel it too, because there's sometimes we made some studio sessions here, and I was like, oh, I kind of feel this beat, and then I was like, no, we need to cut it. I need to have this
that feeling.
Yeah, that particular feeling that you're like, I want to hear it over and over again, and then we always ended up having that feeling, and that's when you put out a song basically, because you're in love with the song.
Exactly. I love that about you, because you know exactly what you want, and as long as there's a little bit of doubt, it's like, no, scrap that idea. Let's start from scratch. Let's start something new.
It needs to be fueled by passion and excitement.
Yeah.
If there's no fuel or excitement, it's like, how are people are gonna feel passion and excitement when they're gonna listen to the song?
Exactly.
So it comes from it's just like we're transferring the energy to the listener. You feel that way when you make it. They feel almost the same way when they listen to it. But now tell me, because we both come from a really small city.
Yeah.
And it's like no music industry in our city. And there's the capital right next to it, which is Ottawa, which doesn't really have a music industry either. So I'll talk about how I did it and how I made it out of this like no industry
This
thing.
trap.
Yeah, out of this trap. But like I was wondering, how did you started making music in this environment? How did you started leveraging connection and just believing that that you could bring this craft to a higher level without being surrounded by any other people who were doing it like to the top level in a city where there's no industry?
I mean, I started off, I didn't have any idea of the business. I was 12, you know, I was obsessed with graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, everything involving the elements of hip hop. And I discovered that I could produce myself for free, cracking softwares, downloading them, and just, Fruity Loops. I started on Fruity Loops 1.
Okay.
And I had a friend, his dad was a producer, he had a studio at home, so I kind of dove into it and got the feeling of what it could look like, but I didn't think of making money with it. And then artists would reach out to me for beats, and one of my good friends told me one day on the bus, "Oh, I heard you're DJing, you have turntables." I said, "Yeah, can you make hip-hop beats?" And I'm like, I've never tried, but I will. So I made a full CD of instrumentals in like a week, 20 beats in a week. And then I remember I went to a house party and he was there and we played the beats, freestyled on it. And then I'm like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. So then I started writing verses in English and French. And it's just a very slow evolution where most of the time I was just myself in my basement making beats as a way of expressing myself and not getting into trouble. It was either that or the streets. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make beats. Someday, somehow I'll figure out a way to make money out of this and not have to work. That was my main motivation, is not having a job. And school was not really, inspiring. So I'm like, okay, this is all or nothing. Music, music, music all day. A lot of sacrifice, sacrifice my social life, but it's all worth it. So coming from Get to Know, it's like, there was a lot of rappers back then, like a few crews and a lot of performances. I don't know how it is today, but I know there's talent.
That's true. Well, there used to be more like hip hop artists and rappers in Gatineau. Like I know Detrack, which he's older than me,
Yeah.
and people that used to rap with Detrack as well, and stuff like that. But nowadays, there's not that many people. And then I think even back in the days, it's like no one ever made it big out of the city. So then it's like, and I feel like Gatineau, it's not like a city with the biggest sense of belonging to the city, because
No.
it's a city where people go there to work. So a lot of people come from other places and they didn't really grew up there. So then without having a sentiment of belonging to the city, and without having no one who actually made it out the city as like a big rapper or anything like that, or artist when we first started, it's like people are kind of making jokes. Oh, you're going to be a rapper? You're from Gatineau.
Zero credibility,
Exactly. Just the fact that you come from Gatineau, and not necessarily from the people outside of the city, but the people from inside the city.
Yeah.
They would be like, oh, but bro, we're from Gatineau. You're going to be a rapper? Like, it's like you have to do the unconceivable because no one ever done it. And I feel that in a big city like Montreal or Toronto, the energy is really different.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people who've accomplished so much that you can just look at it and be like, oh, I'm inspired by that. I could make it too. It's the city of dreams and big success.
Exactly.
And it's funny because my dad used to make this joke all the time about Gatineau, the city of dreams and big success, sarcastically.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, and I feel it's still something about Gatineau that the city doesn't assume itself enough. And it's like, I think it's gonna catch up because they're gonna start realizing that, yes, you can come from here and you can like do some big things, and like, it's part of my mission. And then you're doing it as well, so I think that's fire.
I think there's something special and weird about Gatineau, especially like the whole part, because it's like right next to Ottawa, and it's always been, I've heard a lot of history where like it was in the shadow of Ottawa and they were almost ashamed of going across the river, and the fires in the old town, the Vieux. There's like this weird energy in that area, and like almost crabs in a bucket where, you'll never make it. I've heard this so many times. You're never gonna make it out of Quebec. You're never gonna make it out of the city. Like, fuck your dreams, Can we curse? Or we just loop it out?
Yeah, it's my YouTube, so we can do anything.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. Free
beep
for
it
all.
Yeah, we can beep it out.
So I think, for other people that come from small towns, I'm sure they'll be able to relate. It's like, the trick is to, you really have to believe in yourself. You can't depend on what other people think. Me personally, my friends were not like huge supporters. They loved me, but they weren't like, oh my God, you're so good, and blah, 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 blah. It was like, meh. So for me, it was like, I wasn't making music to get validation from my friends. It was just personal validation. Like, okay, you're better than last week. Keep going, keep going.
That's fire.
But you need a plan. And as you grow, it was a good way to practice though, coming like from Gatineau, doing small shows in bars, and like that was a lot of fun, and gain experience, and like you can fail, you can make mistakes there, and nobody will give a shit.
That's true.
But if you're in a big city,
Yeah.
there's more people, word spreads around, there's an industry, so it's a bit harder to make mistakes and to do trial and error.
That's true. Even the comedian, they go to Gatineau to test their stand-up
Oh,
comics. Yeah, they
There
go
you
there
go.
and they test it out in the clubs, small bars, community bars, and then they can go to Montreal to do their shows. So Gatineau's been known for a test audience for a while now, so that
Nice.
makes sense a lot.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, my goal was to get out as soon as possible. So I moved to Montreal, studied a bit of music production, but it was really like the big move to start something real in the music business, and to hopefully start making money. But it's still, I still had the mentality of, I don't care about money. If I can be poor and just make beats all day, I'm gonna be happy.
Rasta mentality a little bit, eh?
But yeah, I got 3 kids, so like soon enough you're like, maybe that's not gonna be enough. But I
Yeah.
still was able to like, do a little bit here and there, make beats, mix, record, do a bit mastering, and even like counseling. Like some artists would come and see me, and like I would give them advice about their songs and their productions and how to develop themselves and anything to make a bit of money. And I was performing as well. So it's really like I said, slow steps and like slow growth until you reach that point where you decide, okay, am I happy with what I have now, or do I want bigger? And I made the conscious decisions that I want it to be way bigger, way bigger.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually like this. That's how it started for me as well. But I actually started with a mentality of like I want to make something big even before I had rap single verse in my
Really?
life.
Okay.
So like I started, like as phony as it sounds, I saw the movie The Secret, and I started doing guided meditations to find my purpose. And I just literally woke up one morning and I took my laptop microphone and I wrecked the song on GarageBand out of my MacBook
That's crazy.
microphone, and then my friends were bumping the record in their car. They were like, Simon, like I bumped the song in my car.
What was the beat?
It's a beat I had found on Newground.
Okay.
It was like a beat portal where people could make their beats,
Okay.
and it was called G-Town City.
West Coast.
Yes, it was a West Coast song. And then like after that,
By the way, Gatineau, a nickname for Gatineau is G-Town.
yes, G-Town, yeah, because it starts with a G. Yeah. And then my friends were bumping it, and then after that, it was like I was making music for fun, and I would never think it was gonna be a career for me. So I went to study business until it just was undeniable. Like I had to do it. That was like stronger than me. I just had to follow this path. Like it was a calling, literally. And then I worked a lot of jobs. I know you were working as a cook before as well.
Yeah.
And then I was working at the poutine shop, like where they make hot dogs and stuff like that. And then I was delivering shawarmas, delivering water. And I knew I was also meant for something bigger. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna work delivery jobs in my life. And then I knew if I was not gonna go to get a government job and stuff, I was never gonna fall in the circle of comfortability and forget about my dreams, So then when you're not always comfortable and you know about this vision and like it's happening 100%, it's eventually gonna happen.
It has to. Discomfort is the perfect space to grow quick. Because you want to get out of it. You want to get out of discomfort. Like, you need pain and you need suffering and you need like hardship to grow, especially as a man.
You canalize that into
like
craft and the energy and to working hard, basically.
So why hip hop? Why did you choose, or it probably chose you, right?
To be honest, it's like I didn't even think. I just woke up and there was a beat who spoke to me and I started rapping over it. It just happened like that. Like I was a b-boy when I was a kid. I did several years of b-boying, breakdancing. And then I always loved what had to do with it, because I had 2 breakdance coaches. I had Crazy Smooth, who's Yvon Soglo, and then I had Dirty D. And then Yvon Soglo was like Crazy Smooth, like he organized those events, like popping events, and then he brought all his homies from the Bronx and stuff, and he used to teach us about like the culture of hip hop from a very young age. And then it was so interesting, like also like the graffiti, all those things, the rhythmics, and it really just grabbed me. I felt at home basically, and then I guess it just catched up later in my life when I started making hip hop music. But I never knew I had this in me, inside of me. I knew I was musical because I could play the drum as a kid, but then
You had the rhythm on lock for sure.
yes, exactly. I could play the djembe and stuff like that, but yeah, it just kind of happened. I never once when I was in high school or something, I was gonna be a rapper or something. It was not even an idea or in my mind at all. I never conceived that until I started making songs, and then people were listening to it just for fun, and then it was undeniable. Like I just had to do it.
Do you still have that first song?
Yes.
Yeah, I would
I
love
can
to
make
hear
it.
it.
Yes, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny because I
In
did not.
English?
Yes,
Yeah?
and I did not know what a mix was. I did not know what a mix was. And for people who don't know what a mix is, it's basically gluing the vocal to the instrumental, adding effects to make it feel like it's one with the track, basically,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And,
And making sure it sounds great in every system.
yeah, yes,
Whether it's the iPhone, earpods, the car, a
yes.
loudspeaker system.
Yeah, well, that my mix used to suck a lot, right? Because it did not sound good everywhere. So then that's what happened, and then yes, so I opened up the session in GarageBand, right? And I loaded in a beat. And I was lucky enough that the session was at the same BPM as the beat. I did not even know what a BPM was at the time. So I just added male speech effect on GarageBand and it kind of made the song.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was mixed in.
Nice.
So it seems like the stars were aligned at that particular moment when I decided to make that one song, that it was good enough for people to listen to it. And I was like, yo, no way. And then I tried to redo it afterwards, and my songs were all trash because I didn't know what a mix was. I didn't know anything. But eventually I learned and I followed that passion, and it's just like, I don't know. When I think about it, it's almost impossible. It's like
It is.
everything.
and That's one thing I love to share with people is like, it doesn't really matter where you come from. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Your skin color doesn't matter. It's like, if you really believe in yourself and in your passion, it's like there's nothing going to stop you. You can do anything. There's nothing that's impossible. The only limits are in your mind.
That's facts.
So man, like I had no musical talent. I had no training, no nothing. But my shit was trash too. It was like,
When
it
you
took
started.
years until it was like, okay, it's starting to sound like something. But I had such the passion was so loud that it's like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what people think. I just want to keep doing this over and over again until it works.
And then 20 years after that, here we are. That's the
it.
studio where you produce, and then countless other cities. I saw you went to Thailand this year.
Yeah.
You go to Toronto all the time. You produce number ones. You win the Junos and stuff. I mean, it was worth following the passion, right?
Exactly, and I still feel like it's only the beginning.
So the first time I heard of you, it was a homie of mine who was a DJ who used to tag you on my posts.
He's actually one of my best friend's little brother.
Okay.
Yeah. A guy I know from like 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've known him because I used to hire him for some events, because I used to have this small events company when I was
Shout
in
out
college.
to Alexis Ducharme and
Yes.
Gab Ducharme.
Yes, amazing people,
He's gonna
man.
be happy to see this.
Shout out to Alexis, bro.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I saw what he was doing, what you were doing and stuff, and I saw it was like high level, and I was like, I cannot reach out right now because I don't think it's at that level. And since I knew he tagged you, if I would have already been there, you would have messaged me or either like his comments.
Yeah.
Since I saw no activity, I was like, okay, I'll leave it some time, I'll leave it some room, and then once I get to the point where like I think I had just got my first gold record, or
What year was the first time
This was the year we did Exquisite.
that he tagged you?
No. That was like 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
7 years ago. I was like making music like I used to make hip hop, then I deleted my stuff, then I used to sing with my guitar, then I
Yeah.
deleted that. Then he tagged you on these things. Like that was a lot of years ago. And then so I waited years. I practiced, I found my sound, and then once I had a gold record and a couple million streams, I reached out to you and I was like, hey, maybe we could try and do something. Because now the worst you can tell me is no, and then at least I'm like, I have something going on for myself.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I don't remember what exactly how you said it, but you were like, yeah, we could give it a try. Let's just set up a session.
Yeah.
And I was like, how much are you charging and stuff like that? Because I was thinking of business, because I'm an independent artist, right? So I need to pay for everything. And you're like, let's not talk about this. Let's just start with the music. And if it flows, we'll talk about the business later.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I had ever heard that. Because normally the producers I was working with, it was money first. They always, maybe it is because they were shorter on cash, I don't know, but.
Yeah, I was like that before. I was like, nah, this is what it is, and then, you know, take it or leave it. But now I'm a bit more flexible.
And then you told so we set up a session. I think it was 2 months after we had spoken. And I remember I was on my motorbike when I was speaking to you in my helmet, because you called me and I was like, and I could barely hear you. So that was the first talk over the phone.
The first good conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
But the timing was perfect, though.
Yeah, timing was perfect. And then what happened after that is that the day before our first studio session, right here in this room, he gave me a call and you were like, oh, you ready? Just to crank me up.
Yeah.
And I just felt the energy. I had goosebumps.
Nice.
And I was like, I feel it. And I remember I took a picture and I sent it over. I still have this picture. Maybe I can send it to the Hit It. I don't know. And so I had goosebumps. I was like, yo, there's something crazy about to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And then he asked me if your girlfriend Kim could come by, because she loved my music. And then she wanted to participate, and she could like throw some songs ideas.
Yeah.
So she showed us some K-Tronada type vibes and stuff.
Yeah.
And we ended up making something influenced by like a K-Tra house
Type
kick
groove,
and stuff. And then what ended up being my first top 40 on the radio, Exquisite.
Hey, congrats, bro.
Appreciate
Independent.
it, man. Yeah, independently.
I think you were the only independent artist in the top 40, right? Did you
don't
check?
know. I did not check that. I did not look at that. But that's possible.
It's very hard for independent artists to reach that.
It is.
So congrats.
A lot of politics.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of politics. But I can, it was still my first like record in that genre. So I think the more I'll do, the more they'll get to know my music. Because then we made another song too called Thank You Life, who also plays at the Beat in Montreal and stuff like that. It's just harder to get it all across the thing when you don't have the big machine. But once you make something that is undeniable and also has the streams or stuff like that, then it works out. But, you know, it was special because it was so different from the music I had done before. And then I felt like, how am I going to present this to my fans?
It's not easy.
Yeah, because like I don't want to deceive them.
Yeah.
I know they love my super hip-hop G-Funk stuff. And I also loved that exquisite vibe that I did. So it was like, there's definitely a duality about me. Like, obviously, there's that, and it always used to be like that, because when I first started, I made hip hop. And then after that, I deleted all my stuff because it was trash. Then I made pop music. Then I deleted it all. And then I started hip hop with Everywhere We Go, which everyone knows now because that one is out. But I had made music way before that. And I remember there was that time when I was working delivery and I was like, there was the big dilemma. I was like, am I gonna do this stuff with the guitar and pop where I sing, or am I gonna do the hip hop? And then I was questioning would never end. I was like, I feel like there was some days I felt like I wanted to do hip hop shit to the core. Some other days I was like, I just wanna get lost in the present moment, then speak about my soul's energy and stuff like that. And I could never really take the decision. And so what happened is that I made Everywhere We Go in my parents' basement when my parents were gone at a party, and I just made the song in a week. I recorded the song, wrote the song, and made the beat in a week and a half.
So that was the official first song
after I had deleted
real rap career.
My Mindflip, my Mindflip stuff.
Nice.
It was Everywhere We Go.
And you made the beat.
Yeah. And I made the beat. I mixed it. I recorded it.
Sick.
Yes. And then this one kind of like first did not take off. I think I had 4,000 views, and then I sent it to Rap Nation. And then it blew up on Rap Nation's channel. Rap Nation just were like, I love the clip. I love the, because I also directed the music video, which I had spent $1,500 for.
Wow.
So I rented a car. We had it for 2 hours. My friends, my homies, his parents had a dope house. They were gone on vacation. We did a party there. We made it happen. The video now has 7 million views, so it kind of went great. It kind of went great. But then afterwards, there was still that other side of me musically that I was not exploiting because I was doing hip hop. And then people knew me for the Everywhere We Go stuff, for the Run My Shit stuff, for the Blaze the Shit Up stuff. And I was like, I don't, like, before I become like a big name, I need to be able to start exploiting this other side of me. If not, I won't be able to exploit it later on. So, and I thought with you, it's kind of like, it was like letting me, it was allowing me to express this other side of me that I once was able to do musically, but like to a professional level. Because this genre of music that we do together is really hard to do by yourself.
I mean, even me, I have a hard time making music by myself, whatever genre it's like. I need the input from other people in the room. I love to like work on my own when it's time to finish a record, but like the basic core idea of a song is like, I'm not motivated to do it like alone. Like I need like the energy of other people, you know.
That's like, I think that's what defines a great producer as well, because you bounce off of energies, which is amazing, because that's what music is all about, you know.
Exactly.
And I remember that though, because now I'm starting to like, after working with you, I'm like, maybe I would love to start producing my stuff again a little bit more, because I can learn from the greatness, you know what I'm saying? And then, because I had no one to learn from. And, I was watching YouTube videos, and I was to the point where the YouTube videos, like, I was like, nah, it's not good what they're telling me. It doesn't sound like I want it to sound. And I'm trying to find something, and I can't. And then hip hop was easier to produce than pop music. So like, that's why, like, also I was rapping over the things I was able to produce until I was able to pay for production.
Okay.
That's kind of like why I was limited. And then I remember asking you, I was like, would you mind sending me some sessions that we recorded in the studio?
So you can study them, yeah.
So I can study them. And then right away you were like, yeah, I don't mind. I've been told no too many times. And I was like, what do you mean you've been told no too many times?
You know, I reached out to other producers and DJs and artists that I looked up to, you know, that let's say, oh, I love your vocal sound. How do you mix your vocals? What equipment do you have? What kind of mic? And then most of the time it would be like, nah, I don't want to help you. Or like, oh, can I pass by your studio for like 15 minutes just to look at what you got? No. I don't have time for you.
They don't want to give out the secrets.
Yeah. And other people would say, well, I don't want to share my secrets because I work so hard to get this knowledge and these skills that those are mine. But they don't belong to nobody.
That's facts. When you told me that, I was like, you know what that means? It means like living with the illusion that there's not enough place for your success and my success.
Exactly. There's not enough money for you and I. So if I give my skills, I'm gonna have to share the money, my income.
That's the illusion of limitation.
Illusion of limitation, and it's a mentality of lack and scarcity.
Oh my God, that's so facts. Being scared of someone becoming better than you, and who really cares? If you show skills to someone and he becomes better than you, like, that's just great. You've helped someone becoming better, and it doesn't take anything away from you and your greatness. So, especially not in art form, in our industry.
And even if you it's really rewarding to take some time out of your day to share with other people. That's like a basic spiritual fact, you know, to be in servitude, because that shit always comes back to you.
That's true.
Always.
That's facts.
And even if you give all your knowledge to someone and your skills, they're not going to do the same thing as you. They're not going to apply it like you do. So it's like just like being a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not because I have your vocal chain and I'm able to produce the vocal production that you make. It's like, it's the experience that comes with it too, you know?
Yeah.
So you must be really scared to not want to share this with someone, thinking that all of a sudden they're going to get to your level because they know that chain. And even if this other producer is like, knows what they're doing, it's just going to make a better work environment because people are going to come and thank you. Like, I remember we were hanging out like in the pad next to the studio, and this other producer came by and he was like, yo, I tried your vocal chain on my hip hop songs. It's amazing.
He loved it.
Yeah. And he was just happy. It was just like, it's that positive stuff that you just share with other people. It's skills. And I don't understand. Well, I kind of understand why some people don't want to do it, but like, I think it's foolish.
I live in abundance, you know?
Yeah.
You have to see life that way, where there's unlimited abundance of love and respect and money and success, and there's way more than you think for everyone. And by helping your brother out, you're helping raise the quality standard. So if he's better, it's going to motivate you. Okay, oh shit, he's getting a bit bigger and higher than me.
Then
so
I have
I'm
to
gonna
get
work
even
harder.
better.
So it's a healthy
Yeah.
competition.
Exactly.
That's the way I see it.
Yes, because I do believe in healthy competition. You know, there's like this misconception where like, oh, competition is bad because we need to work in harmony, but there is healthy competition.
Oh yeah.
As long as there's not like mentality of lack and not understanding the principles of abundance.
Exactly.
As long as you're in tune with abundance, competition is going to be healthy and you're going to want to share it. That's amazing, man. I know that's why I love working with you, man. We're taking the same, bro. That's amazing, man.
And I mean, like, you never know. Always treat everybody equally with respect. You never know who's gonna be where in like 5
That's
years.
true.
You know, it could be the janitor or the assistant at the studio serving coffee, and then 5 years from now, he's a multi-platinum producer. And you're like, I should have been nice to that guy.
Oh my God.
Now I
yeah.
can't reach out to the collab.
Solution: be nice to everyone.
Yeah.
That's that
Treat
simple.
people the way you want to be treated. That's basic life advice.
It's like so simple it almost gets complicated.
Yeah.
That's good. It's really what it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the ego traps us in judgment, you know.
No, the ego and the music. Sometimes it can like,
Yeah.
because we tend to like, we're living in a society that people tend to identify us by the way like they perceive us, and because of the things we've previously put out, especially as musician.
Yeah.
And also, I think it goes not only for music, just if you always dress a particular way, people are going to be like, oh, it's the guy who dresses with the baggy pants and
Yeah.
the big hoodie. So if you arrive with a different style, people are going to be like, nah, not because it doesn't fit you well, but simply because it's not the way they had perceived you in their mind, and it's not how they define you. So it's hard sometimes to get out of like the ego perception of other beings in our society and just allow us to free flow where our creativity and our sense of self feel like naturally going at the particular moment, you know?
That's facts. That happened to me, man.
Really?
In like secondaire 2, which is 8th grade. I was like in the rave movement, you know, dressing up with like rainbow colors and like super big parachute pants and like big chains and like necklaces and like blue pink hair. I still have pink hair, but like crazy looks, you know, and listening to like hardcore like Dutch music and like drum and bass and trance and like big headphones, and I got judged for that because it was so alien to popular culture back then. And, you know, I got bullied and like lost most of my friends, and it got so
Really?
bad that I just wanted to switch schools.
That's crazy.
So I went to school in Ottawa, to an art school where I thought that I would fit in more. And I ended up going back to the
Really?
same school. But during that year, I discovered hip hop and I started rapping and switched the way I dressed and the way I looked. And then people's perceptions totally switched. And now I was cool again. I'm like, I'm the same guy. The inner me has not changed.
No.
I just look different, and now I rap, so it fits into what you think is acceptable now.
That's crazy. And that's crazy. I did not know that of you. That's really interesting. And the thing is that if everyone would have also dressed with the rainbow color pants,
That would have been normal.
it would have been normal.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think is really, like when you come from a small ecosystem, a small city, like we come from, where there's no music industry, there's nothing of that. Like there's small crews and everyone.
It's very cliquey, yeah.
Yes, and there's like that one way of dressing, to dress up. If you dress that way, you're like the cool kid. Then there's like the kids that comes from like this neighborhood and that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not fitting in any of these, it's hard to fit in.
Oh yeah.
And like, if you want to be the cool kid, you got to dress a certain way. And
You have
it's,
to conform.
yes, but I feel like Montreal is so different.
We don't care here.
Because Montreal, there's so many there's so many different people in Montreal, so many different ways to dress, so many different styles, that it's way easier to just
Be yourself.
be yourself, and people are gonna accept you because they're used to see diversity.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like a smaller ecosystem, like what words did you use? Conformer, like se
To
conformer?
conform, yeah,
To
yeah.
conform, yes.
Did you live like the skater rapper war? Maybe you're a bit too young.
I'm
for
a
that.
bit too young because I was like a skater kid type thing, and then
Yeah, me too.
I became like a parkour kid, but I would dress like a skater kid.
Ooh, shit, nice.
Yeah, parkour is my thing.
That's sick.
And then the skater kid became the rapper kid because hip hop was now the music of the skaters, and it used to be
Exactly,
punk.
yes,
So it kind of
exactly.
like, so the people that used to clash kind of like became one culture. That just shows that like it's all an illusion and it's creating limitation and separations for no reason.
Yeah.
And it happens not like the way we dress, like it's obviously one thing, but it happens with culture, it happens with skin colors, it happens with mentality, it happens with religious beliefs.
And now with sexual orientation.
And the genres and everything, and it's like too much separation to me,
Yeah.
man. I'm just trying to see the world as one big energy, and don't get me wrong, 100%. I'm a hip hop artist. I know I'm a guest in the hip hop culture. Like I'm a white dude making hip hop. Like I acknowledge that. I respect where it comes from and
Did
stuff.
you ever get judged or like coming from a small town doing West Coast gangster rap? Did you ever feel like some kind of barrier?
No, never, to be honest with you. And even people from the States, you know, that's really part of the culture. They loved it because it's not like I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm not talking about guns and like trapping and stuff like that, because that's not the reality I live. So I speak about what I live, and people like, it's real. So at the end of the day, if you're gonna hate on realness, like I don't really give a fuck. Like I know it's real. And I haven't really found anyone that came and tell me that. Now, maybe it's going to happen some ways that some people are not going to be happy. But I believe as long as what you stand for is real and authentic, you're going to always be able to defend yourself, you know?
And by the way, there's many ways to be a gangster, not just with guns and drugs. No, you can define your own gangsterism. You can be gangster with knowledge and positivity. You can be a spiritual gangster. You can be gangster with your health. You can be gangster by not complying with the government and being your own sovereign.
So the way you see gangster is like a connotation that also almost means like fierce, or like not letting other people step on you, basically.
Exactly.
So it's like
you can be gangster with your family and being an amazing parent.
Yeah. Show some gangster love.
Yeah.
Guys showing love instead of hate. So the EP coming up.
Yes, sir.
On June 30th.
What's the title?
Duality, The Life of a Gemini. Yes. The reason is I'm a Gemini. Geminis are known to have two sides. And I always felt I had this duality about my music. And it's like there was this super fierce hip hop side of me, and then this other side of me, I just want to like get lost in the present moment and start dancing.
Yeah.
But they're both like an expression of my core identity, my core energy and stuff. So I had to put it out there. And I felt like once this is done, I've opened the door and I can do anything at this point. And I just feel like, because then I could mix them both together in one songs. I can do songs like Exquisite and Thank You Life. I can keep doing some songs like My Fate and Run My Shit.
Run My Shit, yeah.
And that's what I think is amazing about this concept, is it's like, it allows me to really put myself out there. And the focus song, Never Let You Down, was probably out now already, because this is going to be out once the song is out. There's no samples. All the samples in the songs were made in here.
But it sounds like samples, though.
It sounds like there are samples.
Oh, yeah.
But there's none. So even the little tiny voice in the middle, that's my voice.
Yeah.
That we edited a bit. And then even the sounds, the strings, you make them yourself. And then you like...
The electric piano.
Yes.
I love how, like, I'm like the king of sampling. I've been doing that because I had a hard time playing chords, so I always had to rely on sampling to make shit sound good. So now that we have the skills to create our own samples, I mean, it's so much fun. Like, you can do it, because sometimes you find a good sample and there's something about it, you're like, it's not quite what I'm looking for, but I can't change it. But now it's like you can edit and create every layer of the sample and then make it sound like vintage, and That's great. I love it.
That's what I liked about it, because I was like, I want some vintage sample sound, and then I was like, really?
Soulful shit.
Yeah, we're gonna end up doing it ourselves. I was like, no, that's amazing. And then you can't get like sued for any sorts of like master rights, because then you own the samples because you made it, right?
Exactly.
You made it yourself. Yes. So I'm excited about this EP. I hope people are gonna perceive it well. To be honest with you, at this point, I did what I love, and I experiment this other side of my creativity with you that
Yeah.
I haven't shown to my fan base with the Mindflip project. And I also did some songs that follows the genre that I've been doing with Mindflip. And they're both authentic, actually. There's just like people, since it's what they know me for, they're gonna think that this is what's the most me, but it's not necessarily what's the most me. It's just what they've heard me done the most, which ties back to what we were talking about, perception and like how people were trying to put you in a box. But yeah, I'm excited to perform them this summer at the festivals, because a lot of festivals coming up. Europe tour coming up in fall as well.
I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be sick. So I'm gonna be happy to have a variety of musics that I can play. You know, so if I play like at a festival before a super hip hop act, I can go like tweak my set, have more hip hop songs. If I've played before like a pop and hip hop act, then I can put a bit of both. You know, so that allows me to expand my reach as an artist, which I love, by the way. And I love dancing. Song that has fast BPM and great energy in live is just like, it's a game changer.
Yeah, I think it's really time for you to expand in Europe, man. Like Germany, and because you lived in Germany.
Yes, I lived in Germany for a year, yes.
I think people will love you there, and like even Eastern Europe, like Poland.
Yes.
There are huge hip hop heads over there.
I know,
And like boom bap.
I'll probably have to go next year. This year I'm going to Germany, Belgium, France, Finland, UK.
Wow.
And Switzerland.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So these are the ones we're doing this fall.
Sick.
So it's gonna be nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super excited, man. Like just to go back there, because I used to live in Germany. Well, you know, when I said this first rap song that I've recorded on my MacBook after I've done some meditations.
Yeah.
I had never done a rap before. I actually recorded and wrote that at the same time. Like I had my microphone, I would spit a line, listen to it, spit another line.
Oh, wow, love that.
And it was in Germany, in my bedroom in Germany. And I was there because my dad's a military, so he used to work for NATO. And I felt like it changed my life, because like, you know, when you go on a trip or you move for like a year and you go on a trip for 2 months, it feels like when you come back, it's like everything is so much different, because it's like you almost tune into a new life when you're on the trip. And then all those like emotional baggages that you've created there on this journey, on your trip, all those like connections you've made, all those ways of feeling, you bring them back into your hometown, and then it feels like you can do so much more with that because you've lived more experience. That's amazing.
You just expanded your vision.
Exactly.
It's just like, I always think about, let's say, what if we were living in a tribe in the Amazon, and all you know is what's within that tribe in that forest. You have no idea what social media is. You have no idea what a Mercedes-Benz is. You have no idea what McDonald's is. You're limited by that sense of perception, but also you're probably also unlimited by all these distractions and all these blockages that like modern society have. That's very interesting. Like the Inuit that lives in an igloo will not feel the lack of not having the latest Yeezys, you know.
Because they don't know what it is.
They don't need it, and they don't have that need.
It's crazy, because you said you're limited by like what you see in your environment and your vision, and then when you go on a big trip and then you really like dive deep into like either
that
another culture, another realm, you legit like expand your vision, and then when you come back, you have these newer eyes and new sight on the same life you had, and it's so good. That's why it's amazing to travel. And the other thing though is that I kind of like believe that all the information is already within ourselves, so without having to move, you could access that energy by form of meditation or like artistic performance or like sports and stuff like that. But when you dive into another culture, it's just like you're submerged by this field of like seeing things, and when you come back, it's like undeniable. It's the easiest way, I think, to get like to access this new vision on stuff, and it's
also very important for music
yes,
to evolve your music and your artistry. Yeah.
that's facts. Yeah, Rick Rubin always says it, right? Your art form is only just as good as your life experience.
Hey,
And that's
yo,
facts.
that's facts, bro.
Shout out to Rick Rubin.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, but that's
By the
real.
way, Rick Rubin says that he has no like artistic talent. He just
No musical.
no musical training.
Yeah, musical training. Yeah.
He just knows what sounds good. I think that's crazy.
To be honest, like I thought of it for a while. Like I was like, do I want to learn how to read music? Because maybe it could help me. But I always had that fear. I was like, if I understand too much what I do, maybe it's kind of like restrain me from just going by feel. And music is a feeling, you know. So then
I
I
would
was like,
agree with that. I'm known like classically trained musicians, and it's a different game. They don't see music, they don't feel music the same way. It's very technical, very mathematical.
I don't want to see it as mathematic.
Nah.
Even though it kind of is, I don't want to like. I think it's a feeling, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a vibe, and like, I don't know for you, but like, because since you're making music probably more often in the studio, do you also like jam and find melodies sometimes when you're outside the studios and just walking out? It's really happening.
Yeah. Sometimes I get ideas. I'll just record them on my phone, and
Okay.
yeah.
Because that, as a like someone who writes lyrics and writes the vocals on a beat, when I grab a beat, when we make a beat, I go and I plunge myself into a different environment. If it's a night rider, then I'll make sure I'm driving my car at the nighttime with my windows down. If it's a summer vibe, then I might just grab my longboard and my headphones and go for a ride under the sun. Because I feel if I'm surrounded by the vibe that I'm trying to convey in the song, it's gonna just like canalize naturally. I won't have to like force it. And I feel when music is forced, sometimes it's like it doesn't feel as pure.
It doesn't feel natural. But like I've been doing this for like over 24 years. So now I kind of feel different towards music, where like if I'm not in work mode, if I'm not in the studio, my mind's not going to be on music.
Okay.
It's going to be on other things, you know. Because my whole life, everything has been about music. My whole identity, everything, my friends, like everything was revolved around music. And now I'm taking a step back, you know. There's other things in life.
True.
That I need to live and to experience, to bring back into my music, but that have nothing to do with music. And especially having kids will, you know, change that.
Being a father is like another sense of purpose as well, you know. It's like a completely different
and
thing.
Studying other things, you know, like quantum physics and like
oh, I love that.
the financial system and like, you know, ancient history and like our world is so complex and interesting.
It doesn't need to be always about music. And I think the same, because music is just the way you express yourself. And again, you need to live and have other passions and other fields of interest to have, for me as a rapper at least, something to say in my songs. So that quantum physics thing, like I'm a big fan of that. It's just like that, to know that like there's some molecules we're made of that like are not like limited by what we know about physics now, which is like the past, future, and like you need to move at the speed of light and stuff like that. Like those quantum particles are not. Well, let me say that again. To know that we're made out of particles that are not.
They're not physical. They're not tangible.
Yeah, they're just like they're not bound by time or space.
Even the word universe means one song.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And when you understand energy and like how light and gravity and all the forces of the universe works, brings you back to music. Music is magic. It's true magic. You can't, if you didn't have ears, you couldn't know it exists. If you were deaf.
Yeah.
If we lived on a planet of deaf people and we were the only ones being able to listen to music and dance, people would think we're crazy.
100%.
They would lock us up.
Yeah. What are you guys doing, man?
You can't touch it. You can only feel it and hear it.
Yeah. Kind of like a vibe in the air when you had a sense of intuition that something's going to happen, or like this is the right person for that. And it's not tangible, but you can like feel it. It's a feel, and it is there. That's what quantum is all about, right? There's like this field of energy that is like this empty space that we think is empty is actually not empty.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a field to which we're all interconnected. there's research as well that shows that that planet ecosystem is actually connected to it as well.
Oh yeah.
So that we can influence as human being like the weather of the planet with the electromagnetic field of our
The
hearts.
collective consciousness.
That's
We
insane.
create our own reality.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts with the mind, and then the heart having an electromagnetic field changes the electromagnetic
Oh,
field
yeah.
around the particles, which is actually, there's a term for it. It's called the Zeeman effect.
Oh yeah. How do you
Yeah.
do you know how to spell it?
I don't know how to spell it.
Okay.
Like there's a Zeeman and a Stark effect. Yes, one of them is like changing the electric field, and the other one magnetic field. So
That's
when you
crazy.
change the electromagnetic field of a particle, you change the particle itself. And then your art has an electromagnetic field that extend up to 100 meters. So
Yeah,
if by changing your emotion, you can change the electromagnetic field of your art, and the electromagnetic field can change the electromagnetic field of
people.
yes, and of particles.
Yeah.
And if you change the electromagnetic field of a particle, you change the particle.
And
which is
that
crazy.
is the basics of the law of attraction.
Exactly.
And that's why being nice and respectful and kind and spreading love, it pays, man.
Yes, because it's all tied to compassion.
Yeah.
Because the feeling, like, it's crazy. But like even the old prayers, like they would like put their hands on their heart and stuff like that, and like there's something with the heart, man, and compassion and feeling one with the other peoples and feeling one with our environment. It's just like you access the power of the law of attraction when you feel emotion of compassion and like unity. That's when it's the most powerful.
Definitely. 100.
I'd hand it on that.
My bro.
Hey, it was nice having you, bro. Amazing talk. Yes, for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.